How does poker board texture affect opponents' range? Have you ever wondered how the community cards in poker can shape what your opponents might be holding? Understanding board texture is key to making better decisions at the table. Board texture refers to the characteristics of the community cards and how they interact with each other. This can greatly influence the types of hands your opponents are likely to have. To start, board textures can be categorized as dry or wet. A dry board has unconnected, low coordination cards, meaning there are few or no flush or straight draw possibilities. For example, if the flop is King of Diamonds, 7 of Hearts, and 3 of Spades, that is a dry board. On such boards, strong made hands are well defined, and opponents' ranges tend to be narrower. This situation often favors the player who was aggressive before the flop, allowing them to apply pressure with continuation bets. Since opponents are less likely to have connected hands or draws, they may fold weaker holdings, making aggressive play more effective. On the other hand, a wet board contains coordinated cards that offer many possible draws. For instance, a flop like Ace of Hearts, King of Hearts, and 3 of Hearts is considered wet because it presents flush and straight draw opportunities. Wet boards broaden opponents' ranges since many players can connect with strong hands or draws. This usually favors the player who called before the flop, as they can continue with a wider range of hands. On wet boards, continuation bets are less likely to force folds, so players may need to be more cautious or use larger bet sizes to protect their strong hands. There are also other important board textures to consider. Monotone boards have all 3 flop cards of the same suit, which increases the chances of flush draws. In this case, opponents' ranges may include flush draws or made flushes, so players should be careful with non-flush draws. Betting strategies on these boards often involve smaller bets to control the pot size. Paired boards where 2 cards are of the same rank can change the dynamics of the game. They increase the likelihood of full houses or trips. On these boards, opponents' ranges may include sets or full houses, so caution is necessary, especially if you hold a top pair or weaker hand. Connected boards, where flop cards are in sequence or close in rank, increase straight draw possibilities. Opponents' ranges widen to include straight draws and made straights, which means players need to adjust their bet sizing and hand selection accordingly. In practical terms, knowing the board texture helps you estimate how well your opponent's range connects with the flop. For example, on a wet board, expect opponents to have more draws and strong hands. This might lead you to play more cautiously or bet larger to protect your holdings. Conversely, on dry boards, you can afford to be more aggressive since opponents are less likely to have strong connections. Overall, poker board texture plays a significant role in defining the likelihood of certain hand types being present. This information guides your decisions on bet sizing, frequency, and hand selection, allowing you to adjust your strategy based on how the community cards interact.